I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we meet today and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging.
Libraries are so much more than books and literacy. We are committed to delivering all aspects of lifelong learning and life-wide learning that our community needs, wants, and values. Lexi is the Sustainability and Educational Officer at Plastic Police. Plastic Police helps organisations implement circular economy solutions for soft plastic. They're on a mission to keep soft plastic out of landfill and our oceans by educating and inspiring communities to reduce and recycle soft plastic. Today, Lexi is going to talk about the problems with soft plastic, the solutions, and the exciting innovations happening on the coast and across Australia to tackle soft plastic pollution. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Lexi.
Thanks so much, Catherine, and thank you and hello to everyone, and thanks for joining. So I want to kick off with a little bit of an exercise, and I just want you don't have to do anything, just think about something for a moment. So I want you to think about the last time that you ate seafood. So when was the last time you had fish, oysters, or mussels? And maybe it was in the last month or so. What about the last time you had honey? Maybe in the last few weeks. How about the last time that you had salt? Maybe in the last day or so. What about water? Maybe in the last few minutes, or maybe in the last hour. When was the last time that you ate a credit card? Well, you might, actually, the last time you ate a credit card was last week. So the average person is ingesting about 5 grams of plastic, or a credit card's worth of plastic, every single week. And this was found out by scientists from the University of Newcastle and the World Wide Fund, and they estimate it to be about a credit card worth of plastic that we're ingesting. So how did we get here? How did we get to the point where plastic is so prolific that it's ending up in the food that we eat and the water that we drink? I'm going to talk about that today, and I'll talk about that in one moment. But today's presentation is all about one type of plastic. It's about soft plastic. So what is soft plastic? Soft plastic are those scrunchy plastics that you can scrunch up in a ball into your hand, kind of like this. So it's really common on our food and our product packaging. You find it everywhere on the shelves at the grocery store. And it includes things like plastic bags, bread bags. It's the plastic packaging that our rice, our cereal, and our pasta comes in. It's our lolly wrappers, our chip packets, Ziploc bags, and some types of Glad wrap. So all of these types of plastics make up this group of plastic called soft plastic or flexible plastic. And that's really what I want to focus on today and look at this particular type of plastic. What are the problems with it? What are the solutions, and how can we tackle some of those issues? And what is it being recycled into? What's it being turned into and where? So let's first look a little bit about the problems. So there are actually 5 problems with soft plastic that I want to talk about today. So the first problem is that there is simply too much of it. 1 in 3 pieces of plastic found in beaches and in cleanups is actually soft plastic. Yet 94% of it ends up here in landfill. In fact, in 2017, 2018, it was 420,000 tonnes of soft plastic that went to landfill in Australia, just in 1 year. And that's the equivalent of about 8 Sydney Harbour bridges worth of soft plastic. And when you think about how light something like a plastic bag is, and that you got the weight of 8 Sydney Harbour bridges of it going to landfill every single year just in Australia, well, it's actually mind-blowing how much there is out there. And as a society, we're generating and we're using too much plastic that can possibly be collected and handled and recycled in Australia. And unfortunately, well, we can't send it overseas anymore, which means we need to take measures into our own hand. We need to start dealing with plastic right here in Australia. That's the first problem with soft plastic. The second problem is that it's extremely lightweight. So it easily blows out of bins, it blows out of landfill, it blows onto the street, and then it goes into waterways and eventually ends up in the ocean. So there's so much plastic in the ocean that in only 5 years, so by 2025, scientists estimate that for every 3 tons of fish, there'll be 1 ton of plastic. And in only 30 years, by 2050, there'll be more plastic in the ocean than fish. So we really have a plastic problem on our hands. The third problem with soft plastic and all types of plastic is that it harms our marine life. It's harming our wildlife. So wildlife are mistaking plastic for food and they're ingesting it and it's wreaking havoc on them. So it's estimated that about 1 million seabirds and 100,000 marine mammals are dying every year from ingesting plastic or becoming entangled in it. So this photo that you see here, this is actually the plastic that was removed from the stomach of one sea turtle that unfortunately died because of the amount of plastic that it had ingested. And you can, when you look really closely at this, and this is bigger than a dinner plate, by the way, when you look really closely at it, you can see that a lot of it is this soft plastic packaging. And that's because a turtle can't tell the difference between a plastic bag and a jellyfish, which is one of its main sources of food. And that mistake can be deadly, unfortunately. The fourth problem with plastic, and this brings us back to our credit card issue, is that plastic doesn't break down in the environment. It doesn't biodegrade naturally. It's a synthetic material. And what happens is over hundreds and hundreds of years, it eventually breaks up into smaller and smaller pieces of plastic called microplastics. And microplastics have been found in fish, oysters, mussels. It's been found in honey, water, salt, beer, and it's even been found inside of us. And we're ingesting a credit card's worth of these tiny microplastics, some so small that we can't even see, every single week. And this photo here is the microplastics that I actually collected at a local mangrove 5 minutes from my house in Newcastle. So it's actually, the stuff is everywhere. So that's the fourth problem with plastic. The fifth problem is this. 50% of the plastic we use once and we throw it away. And when you think about it, that almost every single piece of plastic that has ever been created still exists somewhere on the earth today, it's simply not good enough. We have to change. We can no longer wrap our Coke cans in plastic on a plastic tray. We need to do better than this. So what can we do? What are the solutions? I'm going to talk about a couple of solutions in regards to soft plastic in particular, and from an individual perspective. So what can we do as members of a community to try and tackle some of these issues with soft plastic? And of course, it's not just about individual action. We need government regulation and we need industry and businesses also making changes and transitioning to a circular economy and changing the way that they make and package products. So it's not all about individuals. We all need to work together. We all have a role today to play. So when it comes to us as individuals and what we can do, I want to talk about 3 things. So the first thing, and perhaps one of the most important things that we can do, is to reduce our use of soft plastics where possible. Remember, 50% of what we use once and we throw it away. It's not even worth it. So let's start with those things first. Where can we reduce? A couple of suggestions are cling wrap, for example. About 4 years ago, I decided I'm going to give up cling wrap and I'm not going to buy it again. So when it ran out, I started looking for other ways that I could wrap products, and it's actually quite easy. So whether it's lunch boxes, containers, putting leftovers in bowls, covering it with a plate, using wax wrap, reusable silicone wraps, there's so many things out there that we can do. And it also can save money as well. Another idea is when you're going grocery shopping, you may notice those flimsy little produce bags hanging around the fresh produce aisle. So refusing them is a great way to reduce how much plastic you're bringing home as well. So choosing nude food, and you can also bring reusable produce bags as well with you. These are some organic ones, so I take these to the shops. It could be something as simple as asking for your bread in a paper bag instead of plastic, or bringing your own bread bag. And of course, one of my favourites, plastic-free toilet paper from Who Gives a Crap. So not only is it completely plastic-free, it's delivered in bulk to your door for a few months, and it's tree-free. So no trees are harmed in the making of this toilet paper. More and more people all over the world are taking action to reduce their use of soft plastics. So here's some other example of actions that people are taking. So deciding to reduce how much plastic packaging is in your lunchbox is a great idea by using containers, using more fruits and veg, or making your own snacks at home as well. Using beeswax wrap or the vegan plant-based wax wraps as well is a great alternative for your cookies, covering your leftovers, nuts, even wrapping fruit and whatnot. And of course, something that we're probably all doing now that the supermarkets have banned plastic bags is taking reusable bags with you on every shop. So not just to the groceries, but also to the markets if you're going there, or if you're going to a shopping centre, taking a reusable bag there as well. And of course, your reusable produce bag. And then when it comes to food, maybe shopping more at bulk food stores where you can buy things like spices, rice, nuts, flours, all of that completely package free. Or when you go to the supermarket, choosing the nude food so it doesn't come wrapped in plastic. And of course, shopping at your local farmer's market, you'll find that you can get lots of things, even herbs, without any plastic packaging at all. And of course, more and more kids are taking action to reduce how much plastic is ending up in their lunchbox as well, which is really inspiring to see. So the second thing that we can do is recycle our soft plastics. So reduce what you can and recycle the rest. So I'd love to know if you're already recycling your soft plastics. If you can pop a yes or no in the comment box, if we have that turned on, that'd be great. So when it comes to recycling soft plastics, the best option for residents is to collect at home and drop off to your Coles and Woolworths supermarkets. So there are bins there at Coles, they look like this. At Woolworths, they're a bit different. They're a bit of a rectangle frame, and you can drop your soft plastics off for recycling there at the red cycle bins. So I'll talk a little bit about what happens to soft plastic that's dropped off here and what it's turned into in a moment. So yeah, when you drop it off here, there's a few things that you need to be mindful of. And the first thing is making sure that it's clean, dry and empty. So shaking any chips out at the bottom of your chip packet so it's suitable to be recycled into new products. And making sure it's clean and it's dry and it hasn't been in contact with things like meat or dairy as well is really important, not just for product quality, but also to reduce smells and pests as well when you're collecting at home, and also as the material makes its way to recyclers. So that's the first tip, is to make sure it's clean and dry. And these are the types of things, if you are already recycling or if you're looking to start recycling soon, is to make sure that these items are kept out. So things like food, making sure any food is removed. Hard plastics like water bottles or tubs and trays, they can't be recycled through soft plastic recycling programs. Making sure you're keeping out any polystyrene containers or foam, removing any receipts or coins that you might have left in the bottom of your bags as well, because they can damage recycling equipment. And keeping things like gloves and balloons out as well, because they're made from different types of plastic and they may be contaminated as well. And an important one that you may not realise is you can actually have a look at the packaging, and you need to make sure that when you're recycling it, dropping it off to red cycle, that it's not a degradable, biodegradable or compostable packaging material. And it will say on the front of it if it is. And the reason we can't recycle those in soft plastic recycling programs is because degradable products are designed to break up into microplastics a lot quicker, which is not great when we want to turn it into products that can last a long time and be really functional. And with biodegradable and compostable bags and products, they've got an element in there that is plant-based. So again, we can't recycle that and turn it into other products because plastic, of course, is oil-based. So it's made from a different type of material. So remember to keep these things out. There's also a couple of little extra tips here for determining if something is soft plastic. So I've got 4 tips here for you. So the first one is to check the label. Number one is the Australasian recycling label. This is a new label. It's been around for the last 2 years. It's been driven by APCO, Planet Arc and PrEP. And it's really exciting because this little label here on the left, it shows you exactly how to dispose or recycle of each of your product's packaging. So it will tell you what to do with the lid, what to do with the bottle, what to do with the box, and what to do with the film, the bag, or the wrapper. So when you see this particular label where it says store drop-off or return to store, rest assured it is soft plastic and you can recycle it through the Red Cycle program or a soft plastic recycling program. The next logo, of course, if you see the Red Cycle logo, that means that yes, you can recycle it through the Red Cycle program. And the third one, so a lot of people may not realise this, but when you see this recycling symbol with a number in the centre, it's actually a code that's telling you the type of plastic that packaging is made from. So when it has a number 4, stands for LDPE, low density polyethylene plastic. And that's what soft plastic is primarily made from. So if it's a scrunchy sort of plastic and you see that number 4 symbol, then it's good to be placed into your Red Cycle bin. It's a soft plastic. So one of the best ways to tell if something is soft plastic or if it's a hard, rigid plastic is to do the scrunch test. So I'll do a bit of a demo now, but if you scrunch soft plastic and it does this, kind of scrunches up in your hand like that and kind of stays in a bit of a ball, then that's soft plastic. But if you were to scrunch something like this and it didn't scrunch or it holds its shape or it bounces back to shape like this, and that's actually a hard plastic. It's made out of something different and this should be replaced in your normal yellow lid recycling bin at home. The next test is the foil test. So we get asked a lot, is it okay to recycle the silver-lined chip packets and lolly wrappers? And how do I tell if it's foil or if it's plastic? So again, a great way to do it is to do a bit of a scrunch. And yes, it is okay to recycle the silver-lined chip packets and lolly wrappers like this one, because it's a metallicized soft plastic. So yes, you can recycle it. And again, do the scrunch test. That one's okay. And with foil, it goes into a tight ball like this. And it doesn't scrunch back up like soft plastic does. So that's how you know that that's foil. When it comes to aluminium foil like this, you actually can recycle this in your normal yellow lid recycling bin as long as it's big enough. So try and get it bigger than a golf ball. The size of your palm is ideal, and that way the sorting equipment will pick it up. And of course, make sure it's clean. And the last, yes.
Oh, one question before we go too far along. A couple of people have asked about the coins that you had in the start of this section about
Yes.
the coins not going in the recycling. Can you just tell us?
Elaborate?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So what a lot of people do is they might have a plastic bag and they chuck their coins in there and their receipts in there and then pop it straight in the soft plastic recycling bin. And what happens is the coin, because they're a metal, when they get to the recycler and the plastics are all shredded, the bits of coin, the metal, can actually impact the shredding and the sorting equipment and shut the facility down. So it's really important that you remember to take out all your coins before you put your plastic bags and soft plastics into the Red Cycle bin. So hopefully that makes sense.
Thank you.
Awesome. And then the final test is the tear test. So I do get asked a lot, what about the tea bag packaging and the coffee sachet packaging? Is that soft plastic? Is it foil? Is it paper? So a good thing to do is just give it a tear. And usually you can tell straight away if it's paper. You'll know the sound and it will have edges like on this photo here. So if it has the edges or if it's stringy and it's gluey, it usually has paper and plastic mixed in. So they're a no-go. But if it stretches like a bit of plastic bag does, then that's good. That's how you can tell it's plastic. And of course, when it comes to tea bags and coffee, you can always buy loose leaf tea and ground coffee from bulk food stores or from your local cafe as well, which is a great way to reduce those single-use packaging products. And remember, if you're not sure, if you're standing at the bin looking at a piece of plastic and you're not sure what to do, keep it out. We want to make sure that the soft plastic is less contaminant as possible to make sure that it can be recycled and turned into brand new products that go back to communities. And of course, you can take part in the soft plastic recycling challenge. So this is a challenge where next time you go and drop off your soft plastic for recycling, take a selfie, put it online and use the hashtag soft plastic recycling challenge. And this is a red cycle challenge that you can be involved. And it shows, just to get it out there to other people, that you're reducing and recycling your soft plastic. And this is such powerful stuff to inspire your circle to get involved and start doing this too. Now, if you live on the Central Coast, there's a really exciting trial currently taking place by the Curb Cycle program, and it's called Kirby the Bilby. So this is separate to Red Cycle, and it's separate to Plastic Police and what we do. And it's actually being trialled where you can put soft plastics in a dedicated special bag. It's a yellow bag, and then you can pop that in your recycling bin. And this bag has special codes on it so that the bag can be taken out before it gets to the recycling facility, and then it can go and be specially recycled, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So I have to stress, if you're not part of the early trial with Kirby the Bilby, please do not put your soft plastics in your recycling bin at home, because that, like I said before, it can damage the equipment, it can shut the place down. But what you can do is, if you live in the Central Coast area, you can register your interest to be part of the next pilot stage of the program. So it's really new and exciting stuff that's currently being trialled with 2,000 households on the Central Coast. And I think, Catherine, you're part of that, aren't you? Which is really exciting. I hope it's going well. And then you can register your interest. Just head to the URL there, kirbythebilby.com.au, to be involved in the next phase. That's if you're part of the Central Coast region. And I'll talk a little bit about what that program will be turning soft plastics into in the future as well. And of course, Central Coast Council will be announcing options very soon for the public to be able to drop off and recycle their soft plastics to council facilities. So stay tuned, those announcements will be soon, and that will enable businesses and organisations and households with bulk soft plastics to be able to recycle their soft plastics too. Because the Red Cycle program, of course, is only for residents and schools at this stage. So the third thing that we can do is make sure that we're buying recycled products. So as I said earlier, there's a mismatch between how much soft plastic that we're using as a society and how many people are buying products that are made from those recycled soft plastics. So it's really important that we try and reduce and buy back recycled products so that there's an equilibrium and we can make sure that we can handle the plastics that we're using by buying back recycled. Because at the end of the day, recycling doesn't work unless each of us buy recycled products. And I'll talk about this real soon. And the fourth thing that you can do, so if you're already recycling your soft plastics, then this one's for you. Remember to speak out and speak up. So speak out is simply have a conversation with someone. Have a conversation about eating credit cards. Have a conversation about how you're reducing and recycling your soft plastic. This is really powerful stuff. And just by being a role model out there in the community and just by doing it yourself, you will inspire other people to do it too. So just be that positive role model is such a powerful thing that you can do. And speak up. So if you buy something online and your product arrives and it's covered in unnecessary plastic packaging that is just not needed, make sure you send that business a note or an email to say, hey, I'd appreciate if you did better. If your plastic packaging doesn't have the Australasian recycling label and you don't know how to recycle your plastic packaging, make sure you contact that brand or that business and let them know that clear recycling information matters to you, and can they please get the Australasian recycling label on their product. This is two really powerful things that we can do as individuals that just take a moment of our time. All right, so here's the really exciting part. So what innovations are happening right here in Australia to try and tackle these problems with soft plastic. One of the things that's happening, and when you recycle your soft plastics with RedCycle, some of the material is going here to close the loop. They're an Australian company based in Melbourne. And what they're doing is they're taking post-consumer soft plastic collected through RedCycle and waste toner, which is from used printer cartridges used by offices, and they're formulating that into an asphalt additive. And this asphalt additive, called Tonoplast, is added to the bitumen mix, and it's actually been shown to improve and enhance the qualities of asphalt. So it actually lasts longer and performs better than traditional asphalt roads. So this is a photo of a Reconophalt road. So Reconophalt uses Tonoplast asphalt additive, and it's poured by Downer. And Downer makes Reconophalt road right here in Taralba, so it's in the Lake Macquarie, Wider-Hunter region, where they're making this asphalt with a really high percentage of recycled content. So this road is actually in the Central Coast. It's Boomerang Road, Long Jetty, and every two-lane road, 1 kilometre of Reconophalt contains 530,000 plastic bags and plastic packaging, 168,000 glass bottles. So it uses glass sand to replace virgin river sand or beach sand that a lot of other roads use. Waste toner from 12,500 printer cartridges that are collected by offices all over Australia. And approximately 20% of reclaimed asphalt, so old roads. So imagine driving on a road knowing that it's made from all these recycled materials, and that when you recycle your printer cartridges, your soft plastic and your glass bottles, that this is what it's being turned into. And the really great thing about Reconophalt roads is that when these roads reach their end of life in a few decades to come, they take the roads back, they send it back to the asphalt plant in Taralba, and they're all over Australia as well, and they turn it into roads again. So they can be recycled again and again and again into new roads, which is really part of this circular economy movement, where we need to keep recreating, reusing, recycling to ensure that our materials and our resources are not ending up in landfill. This is a project that Plastic Police did with Central Coast Council last year. We actually worked with a couple of local schools in the Central Coast region to help them collect their soft plastics for recycling. And we came in and did some education for the schools as well. And though the Central Coast Council actually resurfaced the roads around those schools with Reconophalt asphalt. So the kids really loved it because they could see, wow, this is what happens when I recycle my soft plastic, when I take it into Coles and Woolworths and I pop it in this bin, it's going to be turned into things like the road right out front of my school. So that was a great project that we did with Central Coast Council. But your soft plastics aren't just going into roads. There are so many more incredible products out there that can be made using recycled soft plastic and other recycled plastics as well. So another example, and this is where when you recycle with RedCycle as well, or with Plastic Police, this is where your soft plastic is going. The first one is Replaz. So if you look at the image up top, these at the University of Newcastle, they've got bench seats, bollards, and wheel stops, and even decking, all made out of recycled plastic from Replaz, which contains recycled soft plastic as well. So it's great to see that at the University of Newcastle. And the uni's actually participating in the Plastic Police program, so they're collecting and recycling their soft plastics with us. And the bottom left, we've got a number of schools that have been buying bench seats and tables and chairs for the school playgrounds as well. So again, getting the kids involved in recycling so they can see the outcomes of their behaviours. The middle image at the bottom is actually Westfield Katara Shopping Centre here in Newcastle. So they actually purchased almost 200 wheel stops for their new car park that were made from recycled plastic, including soft plastic, which was great for Centre Group to do that. And bottom right is a garden bed that's made from recycled soft plastic, and also some of the products made from plastic forests contain recycled coffee cups as well. So it's pretty impressive to see what can be made from our waste. So there's garden beds, there's mini wheel stops. I've got a sample here that go in your garage. So there's lots of different things that can be made from it as well. So if you do have a business or you have a school that's looking to purchase a bench seat or a garden bed or something like this, see if you can get it made from recycled plastic, from replas or from plastic forests, to try and close the loop on what you're collecting and help support Australian recycling of soft plastics. Another thing that's happening that's really exciting, so this is a CAT HTR equipment, and this is cutting edge technology, and it's happening right now on the Central Coast. So the University of Sydney has developed this technology that takes soft plastic and turns it back into oil and chemicals, which is the building blocks of plastic. And it does this by mimicking nature. So plastic, of course, is made out of crude oil, which is a fossil fuel, and it takes the Earth 200 million years to make crude oil. And then, of course, we mine for this oil and we use it to make plastic. Well, the CAT HTR equipment, as you can see here, developed by IQ Renewed, Licella and the University of Sydney, can do what it takes Earth to do in 200 million years, it can do with soft plastics in 20 minutes. So they're looking at turning this into fuels, into chemicals, even back into new plastics, which is really exciting, because if we don't have to mine the Earth for virgin plastics anymore, and we can use the plastic that we already have and that's ending up in landfill or the oceans, this is a really great outcome. So soft plastics collected through the Kirby the Bilby program, for those that are participating in that trial, this is where the soft plastics will be going. So it's really, really cutting edge innovation that's happening right here in Australia, which is really exciting. Now you're probably thinking, I really can't buy any fuel or roads or a bench seat for your backyard. And if you can't do that, then what you can do is making sure you're buying recycled products wherever you can. It doesn't have to be soft plastic. So this is a great example here. This is Dresden. They're a Sydney-based glasses manufacturer, and they actually make their glasses frames out of recycled plastic. So these ones are made out of recycled shampoo bottles. And again, this is happening right here in Sydney. This is Spooked Kooks. They're another Sydney-based organisation, and they actually collect plastic from the ocean and they're recycling it into surfboards. So I actually have one of these surfboards, and it feels really cool to be able to have something that's made out of recycled plastic. Although unfortunately it doesn't make me surf any better. I'll get there one day. And another thing, so these are two guys in South America that are collecting all the discarded fishing nets from the ocean, especially around the area of Chile. So these ghost nets, as they're called, when they're discarded or lost in the ocean, they continue to catch animals who get tangled in them. Things like turtles and seals and dolphins get caught in them. So they're trying to capture all of these fishing nets so that it doesn't harm any more animals and turn them into brand new products. So these guys are called Burrio, and they make things like skateboards, sunglasses, even games like Jenga. And if you've heard of Patagonia, in the brim of the Patagonia hat, their brim is actually made out of recycled fishing nets. So even though that it's not soft plastic, there are lots of options out there and different ways that you can buy back recycled products to help support the recycling industry in Australia and beyond as well. And of course, whenever you're shopping at the supermarket and you're looking at shampoo or maybe cleaning products, look out for, on the label, it'll say made from 100% recycled plastic. And they're the type of products that we need to be buying to make sure that we're recycling properly. This is another innovation that's coming to Australia really soon. So it will be here next year, 2021, and it's called Loop. So Loop, it has been created by TerraCycle, and they're going to be launching it with Woolworths. And essentially it's this really cool program where all of the packaging, so all these brands that get involved, their products will be sold in reusable packaging, reusable glass jars or reusable stainless steel jars. So you can see here things like lollies, oil, nut butter, muesli, cake mix, baking mix, all of these sorts of things. So what happens is when you finish with the product, the packaging is collected, then it's cleaned, sanitized, refilled, and then it goes back to the store for the next customer to buy. So this really is the future of shopping. This is the circular economy. It's the way that things are going to go. So definitely keep an eye out for this at Woolworths next year, and make sure you support the Loop program, because it's really exciting. And as Plastic Police, we're launching this week a new program that helps more schools come on board, and more schools to be able to reduce and recycle their soft plastic. So if you have kids or you're involved in the school community, please get in touch or keep an eye on our website, as we'll be launching the starter pack by the end of this week. So the Plastic Police starter pack essentially contains a bag stand, like you can see there, some posters, signage and educational resources, and also a guidebook that will talk teachers and students through how to set up a soft plastic recycling program. And it talks about everything that I've shared with you today as well, about tips for what can and can't be recycled, how schools can reduce soft plastic use, and getting some products made from soft plastic that can go into your school playground to really get the kids excited about recycling. So stay tuned for that. And for any businesses, that'll be our next step at looking at a blueprint that will help businesses and bigger organisations to be able to recycle and reduce their soft plastics as well. So we look forward to launching that by the end of the year or early next year. So if you're a business, stay tuned for that, and you can always send an inquiry through our website, and you'll be one of the first to know. So really that's it from me. So now you know the problems with soft plastic. Now you know the solutions and the exciting innovations that are happening across Australia to capture soft plastics and stop them from ending up in the oceans and landfill. So now it's over to you. You have the choice, and you have the power to choose what you will do next to help to be part of the solution. So I want you to just have a quick think about what action will you take to try and help tackle soft plastic pollution. And there's lots of suggestions online if you're looking for inspiration, and of course looking at reducing, recycling, speaking up, speaking out, or buying recycled. That's it from me. So I'd love to hear from you guys now. I'll just close this screen. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thanks, Lexi. I do see that Neeb's popped a couple of things in the chat box which might not have come through to you. She's saying that they own a shop and they don't sell plastic toys, so that's good to hear. She was also asking, how long do those products, such I think when you were talking about the roads and things, how long do they last, and can they be recycled? Well, I think yes, they can. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the roads can last a long time, and it really depends on their frequency of use. So roads in front of schools need to be resurfaced quite regularly, because there's the school run every single morning, every single afternoon. So they might need to be changed every decade or so. So they definitely last a long time, and the Reconifelt roads last longer than traditional asphalt. But usually it's decades before roads need to be replaced, especially ones that are used less frequently. But the good thing about Reconifelt is that it improves fatigue life, and it's a bit higher quality road, so it will need to be replaced less often than other roads, which is great. So when it comes to Replas furniture, so you saw the bench seats, the wheel stops, decking, bollards, all of those products made from Replas, they can last for over 40 years. And the great thing about those products as well is that, unlike wood, for example, you don't have to paint it. It doesn't rot. It doesn't disintegrate, or it doesn't get pests or anything like that. So it's really low maintenance, and it lasts a really long time. And those bench seats, they can go back to Replas, and Replas will feed them back through their facility, and they will be turned into a bench seat again, or other recycled products. So yes, both of those products can be perpetually recycled, which is fantastic. It's really great to see that they can be recycled again and again and again.
Yeah, that's fabulous to hear. And it's fabulous to see that Neve's written in there. We don't need plastic, and yet we destroy the earth to get it. I'm a homeschooler, but I can do it. So good on you, Neve.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah. And we have a question from Nancy. Is the information in booklets available on your website?
So is this the starter pack booklet, so I'm assuming?
I think it might be. It's one of the last. Yes.
Okay, great. Excellent, thank you. So the Plastic Police starter packet will be available through our website. So this is for schools to be able to purchase. There is a cost for that, and it'll be launched at the end of the week. And that includes a bag stand, enough bags to last you a year. And it will include the booklet about how to use that equipment, how to set up a soft plastic recycling program at schools, how to educate students and teachers and get them excited about it, and about everything I've spoken about today as well, about what can and what can't be recycled. And we're currently working on a video for schools as well that will have some fun animations and a bit of a jingle in it as well that will be really appealing for kids to help them recycle right and change their behaviours. So that will go up on the website at the end of the week. And if it comes to general information, we have some information and some case studies up on our website, and we're going to be doing more education through Facebook as well. So stay tuned for that.
I'm just having a look to see if there's any more questions in that chat box.
Yeah.
We covered the bit about the coins. So that's everything. That's with quite a lot of people are recycling by the looks of it, that they recycle their soft plastics. So good to hear. I know I take mine, the Kirby Trail hasn't started yet, so I take mine up to the supermarkets. And will your slides be available to download? So do you want me to answer this one?
Yeah, I don't think the slides will be able to download, but the session has been recorded and you'll be able to watch the session again online. Central Coast Council will be making that available.
Yes, so we will pop it on our Facebook groups. That will be out there in the next couple of days. But in terms of, we may be able to get it up onto our Coast Connect, but definitely if you join our Facebook group, so just visit Central Coast Council and under groups, you'll see 4 groups for the library, and this will be on the programs one, and we'll make that available for you as soon as we can.
We also have some additional videos available on the Plastic Police YouTube channel as well. If there's anyone out there that wants a little bit more information about what can and can't be recycled and how to tell the difference between the different recycling labels, and a video about Plastic Police, there's a little bit up there as well. I did receive a question privately too about plastic and what does it mean for our health if we're actually ingesting plastic. So I think that's a really good question, because when we look at what goes into actually making plastic, there's chemicals that are added to it that have been proven. There was evidence to say that it's not very good for our health. That's things like BPA, it's things like phthalates, and these chemical additives are known carcinogens and endocrine disruptors as well. So they're disrupting our hormones. So what it shows at the current level that is known, that we're known to be eating, so about 5 grams per week, that the impact on our health is not anything to be alarmed about at this stage. But what is to be concerned about is this is only through, I think, 10 different products or food items that they discovered. And we're now learning more that there's plastic in the air that we breathe. There might be plastic in some fruits and vegetables as well. So it's when more research comes about to go, okay, what levels are we actually consuming, then there is some concern of the impact that this will have on human health, because we know what is in those chemicals that we use to make plastic, and then we know that it is inside us. So it's quite concerning, but no need to be alarmed at this stage.
Thanks, Lexi. Are there any more questions out there from anyone?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for attending today. It was lovely to see so many of you joining in and getting on board with the plastic recycling message. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line at programs at library promotional at centralcoast.nsw.gov.au, and if we can't answer them, we'll pass them on to Lexi to get the answer. If you want to book into any more of our events, please do, and please join our Facebook page as well. So thank you, a big thank you to Lexi for I know that I didn't know as much about that, what plastics went into the thing, and we were having great debates in my household, so hopefully now you can win those debates in your household.
You're all soft plastic experts now.
Yeah. And thank you so much, everybody, and have a beautiful day, and thanks, Lexi. Bye.
Thanks, Catherine. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.